Adventure bikes are hot, but some dealers are selling you lies. These machines look rugged, but hide catastrophic secrets. We are talking engines that eat themselves and frames that snap in half. Dealers call it character. We call it a money pit. Follow us to uncover 12 bargain bikes that are actually ticking time bombs. We are exposing the fatal flaws and nightmare stories that turn a great deal into financial suicide. And I don't think you're surprised when I say that most of them are Italian. Number 12. Moto Guzzi Stelvio 1200, pre-2013. Let's start with the toxic Italian girlfriend. She incredible, Italian style, shaft drive, and a massive V-twin engine hanging out in the breeze. The Moto Guzzi Stelvio 1200 looks like a cooler, more soulful BMW GS. Dealers love to sell these used because they have passion, but this so-called passion is straight up toxic. It features a 1,151 cubic centimeter transverse V-twin, making a mere 105 horsepower. It is a big, comfortable armchair with a plush seat and wide bars where the cylinders keep your knees warm, or worse, cook them in traffic. But the pre-2013 models have a secret inside the engine called flat tappets. The coating on these tappets was dreadfully defective. Around 20,000 miles, the coating inevitably fails, and the camshaft literally grinds itself into dust. You instantly lose compression, the engine sounds like a bag of hammers, and metal shavings circulate through your entire oil system. There was once someone named Marco in Oregon who bought a pristine 2010 Stelvio for a steal, a mere $5,000. He planned a great trip to Alaska. 3 days in, near the Canadian border, the bike started clattering like a diesel tractor. He lost power and limped it to a shop where they told him the bad news. The camshafts were completely toast. The repair kit to convert it to roller tappets cost $1,500 in parts alone, plus labor. His $5,000 bargain turned into an $8,000 paperweight. You can find these used for $4,500 to $6,000. But unless the rollers have been done, you must walk away. If you've been here a while, you already know what Iron Pulse is about. We drop the essentials: old school, rider-made style; the cap, for long miles and windy days; the T, for the garage, the ride, and everywhere in between; the mug, for early starts and late nights planning the next run. No hype, just the mark. 20% off right now. Link in the description down below. The Guzzi eats its own engine, but our next bike suffers from a failure that is almost cosmetic until it leaves you stranded with a suspension that does not work at all. Number 11, Honda Africa Twin CRF 1000L, 2016 to 2017. The return of the Africa Twin was a massive historic moment. Everyone wanted one, and generally Hondas are known to be bulletproof. But the very first batch, the 2016 and 2017 models, had a bizarre, critical flaw. This 998 cubic centimeter parallel twin puts out 94 horsepower and weighs 503 pounds. The ergonomics are absolutely perfect, with a slim waist, tall seat, and a standing position that feels like a pure dirt bike. However, you need to watch out for fork stiction and anodizing failure. The anodized coating inside the fork tubes was terribly defective. It would wear off prematurely, mixing with the fork oil and creating a grinding paste. This caused the forks to stick, bind, and eventually destroy the internal bushings. Honda fixed this in 2018, but thousands of early used models are sitting at dealers right now with forks that are slowly eating themselves. Someone named Sarah sent us a mail about her 2016 DCT model. She noticed the front suspension felt crunchy over small bumps. She took it to a suspension specialist who drained the fork oil. It came out silver. The internal coating had stripped entirely. She had to buy entirely new upper fork tubes and cartridges. The bill was a stunning $2,000. You can pick these up for $8,500 to $10,500, but you must check the forks first. We are literally unlocking the vault to thousands of dollars in savings on broken bikes. If you want to stop overpaying for lemons and learn the secrets dealers hide, click that like button and subscribe right now. Don't be the guy paying retail for a repair bill. Honda had a bad batch of forks, but our next bike is a clone of a famous Austrian machine, built with electronics that seem to have a mind of their own. Number 10, CFMoto Ibex 800, early models. On paper, this bike is a miracle. It has the KTM 790 engine, cruise control, heated seats, and cornering ABS, all for thousands less than the competition. Dealers are pushing these hard right now. It uses a 799 cubic centimeter parallel twin, making 94 horsepower. The ergonomics are surprisingly good, copying the KTM geometry, but with a more comfortable, touring-focused seat. The problem lies in the electronic gremlins and throttle lag. The early mapping on these bikes was atrocious. The throttle was jerky, then dead, then surged. The cruise control would sometimes refuse to engage or surge unexpectedly. The display screens have been known to black out completely. It is a beta test bike that customers are paying to finish. We found a rider who took his Ibex on a cross-country trip. In the middle of Nevada, the dashboard went completely black. No speed, no fuel gauge, no temp. He kept riding, praying he had gas. Then the bike went into limp mode because the throttle position sensor got confused. He had to disconnect the battery on the side of the road in 100-degree heat just to reset the computer to get to a hotel. You can find these new for $9,499 or used for $6,500. And yes, there is a Japanese giant that usually makes perfect machines, except for one model year where the clutch basket decided to vibrate the bike to pieces. Number 9, Suzuki V-Strom 1000, 2014 to 2016. The V-Strom is usually the cockroach of the motorcycle world, absolutely unkillable. But when Suzuki redesigned the big 1000 in 2014, they introduced a flaw known as chutter. The bike features a 1037 cubic centimeter V, twin making 100 horsepower. It's a tall, narrow tourer that is very comfortable for highway miles, though a bit top-heavy at low speeds. The issue is clutch basket vibration. Between 2,000 and 3,000 RPM, exactly where you ride in the city, the bike shakes violently. It feels like the chain is loose, but it isn't. It is the springs in the clutch basket wearing out prematurely. Suzuki claimed it was a normal characteristic, but it makes the bike miserable to ride in traffic. There is also a known issue with the ECU causing the bike to stall when chopping the throttle at a stoplight. Mike from the UK bought a 2014 V-Strom. He thought the vibration was just V-twin character, but on a rainy commute, the bike stalled approaching a roundabout because of the ECU glitch. The rear wheel locked momentarily, he lost traction and slid into a curb. He was fine, but the bike was scraped up. He sold it immediately after learning he needed a $500 aftermarket clutch basket to fix the vibration. Expect to pay $5,500 to $7,000 for one of these. I have to ask a serious question. Would you ride a bike that vibrates like a paint mixer if it was cheap, or is comfort non-negotiable? Tell me in the comments below. Let's see who values their sanity over their wallet. And now, let me introduce you to Italian art, but the clutch system is a ticking time bomb. Number 8. MV Agusta Turismo Veloce Lusso SCS. This is arguably the most beautiful adventure bike ever made. It looks like a sculpture. It has a smart clutch system, or SCS, that lets you stop without pulling the clutch lever. Dealers have these sitting around because they are intimidatingly expensive to fix. It has a 798 cubic centimeter triple engine, making 110 horsepower. The ergonomics are aggressive, with high pegs and a sporty lean that feels like a sport bike on stilts, not a tourer. The red flag here is clutch failure and parts availability. The SCS clutch is brilliant when it works. When it doesn't, it burns out friction plates rapidly if not adjusted perfectly. And here's the kicker. MV Agusta parts availability is famously terrible. You could be waiting 4 to 6 months for a replacement clutch pack while your $20,000 bike gathers dust. And our very own James bought a Turismo Veloce Lusso. He loved it for 2 months. Then, the smart clutch stopped disengaging at stoplights. The bike would lurch forward and stall. The dealer told him he needed a specific shim kit and a new clutch hub. The parts were on back order from Italy. He missed the entire summer riding season, staring at his beautiful broken Italian statue in the garage. These cost over $22,000 new, but used ones linger between $12,000 and $15,000. The MV is rare, but our next bike is a previous generation flagship from Ducati. It is incredibly fast, but it has a rear brake that literally does not work. Number 7. Ducati Multistrada 1200 early models. The 2010 to 2014 Multistrada changed the game. It was a super bike with handlebars. But if you buy a used one today, you need to know about the Ghost brake. It packs a 1,198 cubic centimeter Testastretta L-twin, pumping out a whopping 150 horsepower. The ergonomics are sporty but upright, locking you in place and encouraging bad behavior. The fatal flaw is the non-existent rear brake. Due to the routing of the brake lines near the catalytic converter, the brake fluid boils, air bubbles form in the line. You press the rear brake pedal and it goes all the way to the floor with zero stopping power. Owners bleed it, and 2 days later, it's gone again. Ducati released countless fixes, but none of them truly solved the heat issue on the early models. Also, watch out for porous cylinder heads that weep coolant on 2010 and 2011 models. So someone took his Multistrada to the Alps. Descending the Stelvio pass, hairpin after hairpin, his rear brake boiled and failed completely. He had to rely entirely on the front brake for 40 switchbacks with a passenger on the back. He said he pulled over at the bottom shaking, with the rear brake pedal flapping loosely like a dead fish. Yup, a dead fish. You can find these for $6,500 to $9,000. Ducati brakes boil, but our next bike pretends to be a bestseller. It looks huge, but underneath the plastic, it is weak, heavy, and deceptively slow. Number 6. Benelli TRK502. In Italy, this was the best-selling bike for years. Why? Because it costs nothing. It looks like a BMW GSR 1250 from 20 feet away. Dealers push these as the best value adventure bike. It uses a 500 cubic centimeter parallel twin, making only 47 horsepower. Yet it weighs a massive 520 pounds. Physically, it feels like a 1200cc bike with a wide tank and massive crash bars. The issue is the abysmal weight-to-power ratio. This bike weighs more than a Honda Africa Twin, but has less than half the horsepower. It is dangerously slow for American highway speeds. Trying to pass a truck at 70 miles per hour is a terrifying game of chicken. The build quality is also grossly inconsistent. Fasteners rust overnight, and the crash bars are made of cheese-grade metal. A new rider bought a TRK502, thinking it was a safe starter bike. He took it on a group ride with guys on V-Strom 650s and Versus 650s. He spent the entire day at full throttle just trying to keep the group in sight. He said the vibrations at 75 miles per hour were numbing his hands, and the bike struggled to climb long highway grades without downshifting twice. He sold it 3 months later for a huge loss. A new one is $5,999, but used ones are dirt cheap at $3,500. The Benelli is heavy, but at least the frame stays in one piece. Our next bike is a cult classic, but the early versions had a nasty habit of snapping in half under stress. Number 5. Royal Enfield Himalayan, Beast 3 and early 411. We love the Himalayan for its simplicity, but you have to avoid the very first generation, specifically the 2016 to 2018 BS3 models. Dealers might try to offload these cheap used ones on you. It has a 411 cubic centimeter air-cooled single, making a measly 24 horsepower. The seat is low and approachable, and it feels like a tractor. However, the early frames had a major weak point near the headstock. If you actually rode the bike off-road, which is what it's built for, the frame could crack or snap cleanly in two. Royal Enfield fixed this in later versions, but those early bikes are still out there, lurking on Craigslist and used lots. A rider in India was documenting his trip to the Himalayas. He hit a pothole at speed. The headstock snapped, separating the forks from the rest of the bike. The video went viral. He was lucky to walk away. Do not buy an early Himalayan without inspecting the headstock welds with a magnifying glass. Used prices hover between $2,500 and $3,500. We are halfway through the list, and the disasters are getting worse. If you want to make sure your next bike doesn't snap in half, subscribe and turn on notifications. We are the insurance policy dealers hate. Our next bike suffers from an identity crisis. It carries a premium German badge, but the heart of the machine was outsourced to the lowest bidder. Number 4, BMW F850 GS. When BMW replaced the F800 GS, they released the F850 GS. It was supposed to be better, but enthusiasts hated it. Dealers are stuck with these because everyone wants the R1250 or the newer F900. It uses an 853 cubic centimeter parallel twin making 90 horsepower. It offers typical BMW comfort, but the gas tank moved from under the seat to the normal position, making the bike feel terribly top-heavy. The red flag is the China engine and excessive weight. The engine is built by Lansin in China. While reliability has been okay, the perception killed the value. More importantly, the bike got significantly heavier and lost the playful character of the old F800. It feels sluggish and sterile. It has no soul. It's a competent appliance that costs premium money, A once loyal BMW fan who traded his F800 GS for an F850 GS. He hated it within a week. He said, "It feels like a heavy wet sponge." He took it off-road and dropped it. Because it is so top-heavy compared to the old one, he struggled to pick it up alone. He felt like he downgraded his experience while upgrading his payments. Expect to pay between $9,000 and $11,000 for this. Now, we have waded through the bad investments, but now we enter the danger zone. These final three machines are not just unreliable, they are financial black holes waiting to swallow your savings. They are the most tempting because they carry legendary names, but inside they harbor fatal flaws that manufacturers refuse to admit. Put your wallet away. Stop listening to the salesman. We are about to reveal the holy trinity of mechanical regret. Number 3. Triumph Tiger 1200 Gen 3 Explorer. Before the new 2022 redesign, the Triumph Tiger 1200 Explorer was a mammoth. It is a shaft drive triple that sounds amazing, but handling it is a workout. It features a 1,215 cubic centimeter triple making 141 horsepower, but it weighs over 600 pounds. The ergonomics are like sitting on top of a skyscraper. The tank is massive and wide. You feel perched on it, not in it. The danger lies in the critical, top-heavy weight distribution. It isn't just that it weighs 600 pounds. It is where the weight is. It carries all its weight high up in the cylinder head and tank. At low speeds in a parking lot or on a gravel road, the bike feels like it is constantly trying to fall over. Once it starts to tip, you cannot stop it. It will break your leg or your spirit. The Triumph might fall over, but our next bike fails to start. It was supposed to be the savior of an American brand, but the first year was a disaster of electrical bugs. Number 2. Harley-Davidson Pan America, 2021 model. Harley built an adventure bike, and shockingly, it was good when it worked. The 2021 launch models are the ones you see for cheap prices now. Avoid them. It uses a 1,250 cubic centimeter Revolution Max V twin, pushing 150 horsepower. The ergonomics are surprisingly good with a low seat height and good reach to the bars. However, the first-year teething issues were severe. The 2021 models were plagued with charging system failures, fuel pump issues, and screens that would freeze or go black. The adaptive ride height system would sometimes get stuck in the low position or fail to lower when stopped. It was a rolling beta test for Harley's new tech. A Harley loyalist bought a 2021 Pan Am Special. On his first adventure ride, the charging system failed deep in the woods. The bike died. He had to be towed out by a Jeep. The dealer kept the bike for 3 weeks waiting for a regulator/rectifier. He said, "I love the engine, but I don't trust the bike." You can find these used for $11,000 to $13,000. Cheap for a reason. Do you like this video? Click that like button, and if you want to support us even more, become a member. Have early access to the newest videos. Our number 1 bike has a fatal flaw buried deep in the metal of the engine. It is widespread, it is expensive, and the manufacturer has been fighting customers about it for years. Number 1. KTM 790 Adventure 2019 to 2020. Here it is, the most capable middleweight adventure bike ever made, and also the biggest gamble you can take. The KTM 790 and early 890s have a legendary flaw: soft cams. This bike has a 799 cubic centimeter parallel twin, making 95 horsepower and weighs just 416 pounds dry. The rally-inspired ergonomics keep the fuel low, making it handle off-road better than anything else on this list. The fatal flaw is camshaft wear. A significant number of these engines were built with camshafts that were improperly hardened. They are too soft. The cam followers chew into the cam lobes, wearing them down in as little as 10,000 miles. The symptoms are hard starting, loss of power, and a terrible ticking noise. KTM has been notoriously difficult about covering this out of warranty, often blaming bad oil or maintenance. We read the forum thread of a rider who loved his 790R. He prepped it for a massive trip. At 15,000 miles, the bike started stalling at idle. He checked the valves. The cam lobe was gone. It looked like someone had taken a grinder to it. The metal shavings had circulated through the oil pump. The engine needed a complete rebuild. The dealer quoted him $4,000. He is currently parting the bike out on eBay because it's worth more dead than alive. Used prices are tempting at $6,500 to $8,500, but proceed with extreme caution. Click the next video to continue the road trip. Join our tribe by subscribing. And if you want to support our channel and have early access on the newest videos, become a member. And don't forget to like this video.